Before we begin, I want you to do something unusual. Think of the one person who hurt you the most. Now ask yourself this: what if I told you that person no longer has the power to hurt you, unless you keep giving them permission? Today, you're about to discover a timeless Stoic secret that has helped emperors, philosophers, and some of the strongest minds in history remain calm in the face of betrayal, criticism, and disrespect. By the end of this video, you'll see insults differently, handle negativity with confidence, and learn how to protect your peace no matter what anyone says or does. So stay with me until the very end, because one idea in this video could completely change the way you respond to people for the rest of your life. Have you ever spent an entire day thinking about one sentence someone said to you? Maybe it was a criticism from your boss, a sarcastic comment from a friend, a betrayal from someone you trusted, or perhaps someone simply ignored you, and somehow that silence hurt more than words ever could. What's fascinating is that the event itself may have lasted only a few seconds, but in your mind, it keeps replaying for hours, days, sometimes even years. Here's the question that changes everything. Did that person really hurt you? Or did your mind continue hurting you long after they had already moved on? The Stoics believe that no one has the power to disturb your peace unless you hand them that power. This isn't about pretending pain doesn't exist. It's not about becoming cold, emotionless, or indifferent. It's about becoming so mentally strong that the actions of other people no longer control the quality of your life. Imagine waking up each morning without worrying about who likes you, who criticized you, or who disappointed you yesterday. Imagine being calm while others lose control. Imagine smiling when someone insults you because you understand something they don't. That is the freedom Stoicism offers. Thousands of years ago, Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius ruled one of the greatest empires in history. Every single day he faced criticism, betrayal, political attacks, and impossible responsibilities. Yet he wrote something extraordinary. He reminded himself that if someone behaves badly, it is because they do not understand what is truly good. Think about that for a moment. Most people act from fear, insecurity, anger, jealousy, or ignorance. When someone insults you, they are revealing their character, not defining yours. But we often forget this. Someone says we're not good enough, and suddenly we begin questioning our worth. Someone rejects us, and we believe we're unlovable. Someone lies about us, and we spend weeks trying to defend ourselves. The Stoics would ask one simple question: why are you allowing another person's opinion to become your identity? If someone handed you a bag of garbage, would you accept it? Of course not. You would leave it where it belongs. Then, why do we willingly accept emotional garbage every single day? Every insult, every unnecessary criticism, every cruel opinion. We pick it up, carry it home, replay it in our minds, and wonder why we feel exhausted. Marcus Aurelius understood that peace begins the moment you stop accepting what doesn't belong to you. Think about a mountain during a storm. The winds scream, rain crashes against the rocks, thunder shakes the sky, yet the mountain remains exactly where it is. It doesn't argue with the storm, it doesn't complain about the weather, it simply stands. Stoicism teaches us to become like that mountain, not because life becomes easier, but because we become stronger. Here's something most people never realize. The greatest source of suffering is not what happens to us. It's the story we create afterward. Someone ignores your message. Immediately, your mind starts writing a story. They don't respect me. They must be angry. I must have done something wrong. Hours later, you're emotionally drained, not because of reality, but because of imagination. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught one of the most powerful lessons ever spoken. He said that people are disturbed not by events, but by the judgments they make about those events. Read that again in your mind. Not by events, but by judgments. That single idea has the power to transform your entire life. Two people can experience the exact same insult. One becomes furious and can't sleep for days. The other laughs and forgets it within minutes. The event was identical. The interpretation was completely different. This means your emotional freedom doesn't depend on changing other people. It depends on mastering your own mind. And that's incredibly empowering, because you can't control what people say. You can't control whether someone betrays you. You can't control gossip, criticism, rejection, or disrespect. but you can always control your response. The moment you understand this, you stop living as a victim of other people's behavior. Instead, you become the guardian of your own peace. Here's a challenge. Think of the person who has hurt you the most. Now ask yourself honestly, how much of your suffering today is coming from what they actually did? And how much is coming from the endless conversations you keep having with them inside your own head? Most of us continue fighting battles that ended years ago. We replay old arguments, we imagine better comebacks, we dream about proving people wrong. Meanwhile, life quietly passes by. The Stoics would tell you something difficult but deeply liberating. The past cannot hurt you anymore. Only your attachment to it can. Every moment you spend feeding resentment is another moment you give away your peace. And here's the irony. The person you're angry with may not even be thinking about you. While you're carrying the weight, they're living their life. So who is really being punished? Perhaps the greatest revenge is not proving someone wrong. Perhaps the greatest revenge is becoming so peaceful that their actions no longer have the power to disturb your soul. Because true strength isn't winning every argument. True strength is reaching a point where you no longer need to argue at all. Now here's where Stoicism becomes truly practical. It's easy to say, don't let people affect you. But what do you actually do in the moment? What happens when someone insults you in front of others? When a friend betrays your trust? When someone unfairly judges your character? The Stoics had an answer, and it begins with one powerful habit. Pause before you react. Most people don't respond. They react. The moment they're criticized, they defend themselves. The moment they're insulted, they attack back. The moment they're disrespected, their emotions take control. It's almost automatic. But Stoicism teaches that between what happens and how you respond, there is a small space. And inside that space lies your freedom. That brief moment is where your strength is built. Imagine someone calling you a failure. Your first impulse may be anger. You want to prove them wrong. You want to argue. You want them to regret what they said. But instead, imagine taking one slow breath. Then ask yourself, is what they said true? If the answer is yes, then they've pointed out something you can improve. Why be offended by the truth? If the answer is no, then why allow a false opinion to disturb your peace? Either way, anger becomes unnecessary. This doesn't mean you become passive. It means you become wise. A lion doesn't stop to answer every barking dog. It continues walking because it knows its strength doesn't depend on the opinions of others. Too many people spend their lives trying to convince everyone that they're valuable. They chase approval, they fear criticism, they measure their worth by likes, compliments, promotions, and applause. But here's the problem. If other people have the power to make you feel valuable, then they also have the power to make you feel worthless. That's a dangerous way to live. The Stoics believed your value should come from your character, not from other people's opinions. Ask yourself this: if no one praised you today, would you still know your worth? If no one noticed your hard work, would you still do the right thing? If everyone misunderstood you, would you remain faithful to your principles? These are difficult questions, but your answers reveal where your confidence truly comes from. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning that he would meet difficult people. Not because he was pessimistic, because he was realistic. He expected to encounter selfishness, arrogance, dishonesty, and impatience. As a result, when those things happened, he wasn't shocked. He had already prepared his mind. Most of our frustration comes from expecting people to behave differently than they actually do. We expect honesty from dishonest people, kindness from cruel people, loyalty from selfish people. Then we feel betrayed when reality refuses to match our expectations. Stoicism encourages a different approach. Accept people as they are, not because you approve of their behavior, but because fighting reality only creates unnecessary suffering. You cannot force another person to become wiser. You cannot force them to respect you. You cannot force them to understand your heart. The only person you can truly improve is yourself. That realization is not limiting. It's liberating, because every ounce of energy you stop wasting on changing others becomes energy you can invest in becoming stronger yourself. Think about how much time people spend replaying arguments, imagining perfect responses, planning revenge, seeking justice, trying to make someone feel guilty. And after all that effort, Do they feel peaceful? Usually not, because revenge keeps you emotionally connected to the very person you're trying to escape. The Stoics understood that resentment is like drinking poison while hoping someone else becomes sick. The only person who suffers is the one holding on to it. Forgiveness, from a Stoic perspective, isn't pretending nothing happened. It isn't excusing bad behavior. It's deciding that someone else's actions will no longer control your inner world. That's real freedom. Another powerful Stoic practice is separating what you control from what you don't. You control your actions, your thoughts, your choices, your discipline, your integrity, but you do not control other people's opinions, their words, their moods, their decisions, or their behavior. So why spend your life worrying about things that were never yours to control? Imagine holding a rope in a tug of war. On the other side is every insult you've ever received, every rejection, every betrayal, every hateful comment. As long as you keep pulling, the struggle continues. But the moment you let go, the battle ends. Not because the other side changed, but because you stopped participating. Sometimes the strongest response is silence. Not silent because you're weak, silent because you've realized that your peace is worth more than winning an argument. There will always be people who misunderstand you, people who criticize you without knowing your story, people who dislike you for reasons that have nothing to do with you. You don't need to carry the weight of every opinion you hear. You only need to carry the responsibility of living according to your values. When your character becomes your foundation, criticism begins to lose its power. Because your confidence no longer depends on the changing moods of other people. It comes from knowing that every day, despite the chaos around you, you are becoming a wiser, calmer, and stronger human being. And that kind of confidence cannot be taken away by anyone. There is one final Stoic lesson that has the power to change your life forever. It's simple. Not everything deserves your attention. Think about that. Every day, your mind is like a garden. Whatever you water will grow. If you water resentment, resentment grows. If you water fear, fear grows. If you water anger, anger grows. But if you water wisdom, patience, gratitude, and self-control, those qualities begin to shape who you become. The greatest mistake most people make is believing they must respond to everything. Every insult, every negative comment, every disagreement, every rumor, every criticism. But ask yourself this: has responding to every conflict made your life more peaceful, or has it only made you more exhausted? The Stoics understood something that modern life constantly makes us forget. Your attention is one of your most valuable possessions. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If you spend your entire day thinking about people who dislike you, then those people are controlling your life, even if they never speak to you again. But the moment you choose to direct your attention toward your purpose, your growth, your family, your work, and your character, you take your life back. That is true freedom. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone represents an old insult, an old betrayal, an embarrassing mistake, a painful rejection. Every day you add another stone. Eventually, the weight becomes unbearable. Then one day someone asks why you look so tired. You answer, life is heavy. But maybe life isn't as heavy as you think. Maybe you're carrying things that were never meant to stay on your shoulders. The Stoics would tell you to put the backpack down, not because the stones never existed, but because carrying them forever serves no purpose. One of the greatest strengths you can develop is emotional independence. This means your happiness no longer depends on compliments. Your confidence no longer depends on applause. Your peace no longer depends on other people behaving the way you want them to. Imagine waking up each morning and saying to yourself, today I will meet difficult people. Some will misunderstand me. Some will criticize me. Some will disappoint me. But none of them can steal my peace unless I give it away. Now imagine living by those words every single day. Slowly, something remarkable begins to happen. You stop taking everything personally. You stop explaining yourself to everyone. You stop chasing approval. You stop arguing over things that don't matter. Instead, you become quieter. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you've learned that peace is often more valuable than proving you're right. There is a beautiful kind of confidence that comes from knowing exactly who you are. When you know your values, when your actions match your principles, when your conscience is clear. The opinions of strangers begin to lose their power because your identity is no longer built on fragile foundations, it is built on character. And character cannot be taken away by insults. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself that the best revenge is not to become like the person who wronged you. Think about how profound that is. When someone treats you with hatred and you respond with hatred, they've changed you. When someone lies and you become dishonest in return, they've changed you. When someone becomes bitter and you become bitter too, they've won twice. But when you remain calm, when you continue acting with integrity, when you refuse to let another person's darkness become your own, that is real victory, because they may control their actions, but they never controlled your soul. Every challenge you face can become training. Every difficult conversation can strengthen your patience. Every criticism can strengthen your humility. Every betrayal can strengthen your wisdom. Every disappointment can strengthen your resilience. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" begin asking, "What kind of person can I become because this happened?" That single question transforms pain into growth. The Stoics never promised a life without hardship. They never claimed people would always be kind. They never said you would never feel hurt. Instead, they offered something much greater, the ability to remain steady in an unsteady world, to remain calm in chaos, to remain kind in the presence of cruelty, to remain strong without becoming hard, to remain peaceful without escaping reality. That is the secret. Not controlling the world, but mastering yourself, because the strongest person in the room is rarely the loudest. It's the one who cannot be manipulated by praise or criticism, the one who chooses wisdom over revenge, the one who values inner peace more than temporary victory, the one who understands that every day is another opportunity to become a better human being than yesterday. So the next time someone insults you, pause, smile. Remember that their words belong to them. Your response belongs to you. And in that moment, choose the response that your future self will be proud of. Because every time you protect your peace instead of your ego, every time you choose understanding over anger, every time you refuse to let another person's behavior define your emotions, you become a little stronger, a little wiser, a little freer. And one day, you'll realize something extraordinary. The people who once had the power to ruin your entire day no longer have the power to steal even a single moment of your peace. That is the Stoic secret, not becoming emotionless, but becoming unshakable. If this message resonated with you, remember this. The world will always test your patience. People will always have opinions. Challenges will always come. But your greatest responsibility is not to control the world around you. It is to protect the peace within you. So leave today with one simple promise to yourself: no one will control my mind except me. Because the moment you master your mind, you become truly free.